Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this.
Top 1. Today, we've got a truly exciting find to discuss, the United States 1-cent coin, better known as the wheat penny from 1944. This seemingly simple coin holds a rich history and could be worth far more than you think. You'll want to stick around to the end because we'll reveal just how much this little piece of American history is worth today. Let's start with a little history. The wheat penny was first issued in 1909 and remained in circulation for decades. By 1944, the U.S. was deep into World War II, and changes in coinage were on the horizon. During this time, the country faced a shortage of copper due to the war effort, so the U.S. Mint began producing pennies with a blend of copper and zinc-coated steel, known as the steel penny. However, in 1944, the U.S. Mint went back to producing pennies with a more traditional copper alloy. But here's where things get interesting. Not all the coins made in 1944 were struck with the usual copper. Some rare 1944 pennies were mistakenly minted using steel leftover from 1943, yes, you heard that right. These errors are what make the 1944 wheat penny so fascinating. Now, why are these error coins so valuable? Well, the steel 1944 wheat pennies are incredibly rare, and finding one in good condition is like striking gold. Collectors go wild for coins with minting errors because they're often one of a kind, and finding an error coin in pristine condition makes it even more desirable. Many of these steel pennies were in circulation for only a short time before they were withdrawn, which is why they are so hard to find today. The uniqueness of these error pennies lies in their striking contrast. The steel is much lighter and has a distinct silverish shine compared to the traditional copper version. This makes them easily recognizable for anyone who knows what they're looking for. So, what does this mean for their value? A regular 1944 wheat penny in good condition might not be worth much more than its face value, but the rare 1944 steel wheat penny, now that's a different story. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare coins in mint or near mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth an incredible $75,000, yes, you heard that right, $75,000. Imagine finding a coin in your collection that's worth that much. So, if you've got any 1944 wheat pennies lying around, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Top 2, we've got a coin that might be hiding in your collection, and you wouldn't even know how valuable it is. We're talking about the 1950 wheat penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that could be worth far more than its face value if you know what to look for. Stick around until the end because we'll reveal just how much this little penny could be worth today. Let's dive right into the history. The 1950 wheat penny, which features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the famous wheat ears design on the reverse, was part of the long-running series of pennies minted from 1909 to 1958. During this period, the U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies, and they were an essential part of everyday life. But here's the kicker, the 1950 wheat penny wasn't produced in high numbers, with one particular minting error making it incredibly rare. The most valuable 1950 wheat pennies are those with a specific feature, a rare variety that was struck with an unusual die. This error was known to occur in Philadelphia, where a limited number of 1950 pennies were minted with a small D mint mark in a spot where it didn't belong. These pennies are not only scarce but highly coveted by collectors because of their unique features. The rarity of these coins comes down to the fact that most of them were either never noticed or were quickly withdrawn from circulation. As a result, finding one in excellent or uncirculated condition is extremely hard. The D error variety adds a fascinating twist. Coins with this mistake can command huge premiums in the market, and those in mint condition are even more valuable. Now, why does all this matter? Well, a typical 1950 wheat penny is worth just a few cents, but a 1950 penny with the rare mint mark error can fetch a mind-blowing price. If you happen to have one of these rare, error-struck coins in good shape, it could be worth up to an incredible $67,000. Yes, you heard that right, $67,000. That's a huge payout for something that might just be hiding in your spare change jar. So, make sure to double-check your pennies before tossing them aside. You might just be holding on to a small fortune. Top 3, we have a rare gem to uncover, the 1953 wheat penny. This may look like just another ordinary penny from the past, but trust me, it could be worth way more than you think. Stick with us until the end, and we'll reveal just how much this little coin could fetch in today's market. The 1953 wheat penny was minted during a time when the US was recovering from the aftermath of World War II. These pennies were a part of the massive series produced from 1909 to 1958 featuring the iconic wheat ears on the back and President Abraham Lincoln on the front. But here's where it gets interesting. While many 1953 pennies were mass-produced, not all of them were created equal. Now, the key to this coin's value lies in its rarity and potential minting errors. Over the years, certain 1953 wheat pennies have been found to have subtle but valuable mistakes. These errors could include things like misstrikes, double dies, or even unusual mint marks. The most sought-after varieties of the 1953 penny include those with a double die error, where the image of Abraham Lincoln or the date itself appears doubled due to a mistake during the striking process. These errors are extremely rare and can significantly boost a penny's worth. The uniqueness of these error coins comes from the fact that they were once circulating in your pockets, unnoticed by many. Most people wouldn't think twice about the change they received at the store, but these small imperfections can transform a common penny into a collector's dream. If you've got one of these error-struck 1953 pennies in good condition, you could be holding something that could fetch a small fortune. So, what makes these pennies so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity. The higher the quality of the coin and the more dramatic the error, the higher the price it can command in the market. Coins with minting errors are prized by collectors because of their uniqueness and the rarity of finding one in excellent condition. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. If you have a 1953 wheat penny with the right error or in pristine condition, it could be worth as much as $62,000. Yes, you heard that right, $62,000. That's a huge payout for a penny you might have just overlooked. So, if you come across any 1953 wheat pennies, make sure to take a closer look. You might have just found yourself a valuable piece of American history. Top 4, we've got a coin that might be hiding right under your nose, and it could be worth far more than you expect. We're talking about the 1954 wheat penny, one of the most interesting coins in US history. This penny may seem ordinary at first glance, but hold tight because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at what it could be worth. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1954 wheat penny is part of the iconic wheat series that was produced from 1909 to 1958. These coins were minted during a period when the US was transitioning out of World War II and into a booming economy. While most of these pennies circulated widely and were never given a second thought, certain versions have become highly prized among collectors. So, what makes the 1954 wheat penny stand out from the crowd? It's all about rarity and unique minting errors. Over the years, many people have tossed these pennies into jars, saved them for nostalgia, or just spent them like any other coin. But here's the catch, some 1954 pennies were struck with minting errors that make them incredibly valuable today. The most sought-after 1954 wheat pennies are those that have rare and unusual minting mistakes, such as double dies. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. This could mean the date is doubled or even Abraham Lincoln's image might have a distorted, ghostly appearance. These error coins are extremely rare and highly valuable, with collectors paying big bucks to get their hands on them. What makes these error coins so special is that they're often the result of random, one-time mistakes during the production process. Imagine working at the mint in 1954 and suddenly discovering that a handful of pennies had a double die error. Those would have been set aside or quickly replaced, making them almost impossible to find in today's world. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Most 1954 wheat pennies were produced in huge quantities, so finding one with a minting error is already a rare occurrence. But the ones that have survived in pristine condition are even rarer. Most of these coins were in circulation for decades, meaning they've been worn down and scratched from years of handling. But if you're lucky enough to find one that's in excellent or uncirculated condition, the value skyrockets. Now, let's talk about the condition of these coins. A 1954 wheat penny in average condition may not fetch much more than a few cents, but if it has that elusive minting error or is in near perfect condition, it could easily be worth much more. The value of error coins increases exponentially as they become harder to find in excellent condition. The more unique and well-preserved the coin, the more desirable it becomes to collectors. The 1954 wheat penny with a rare error could fetch incredible prices at auction. Some collectors have been known to pay substantial amounts for these coins, and the price only increases over time as demand for error coins continues to grow. So, if you happen to have a 1954 wheat penny tucked away, it might be worth your while to examine it closely. You could be sitting on a rare treasure without even knowing it, and now, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much can a 1954 wheat penny with a rare minting error or in pristine condition be worth today? Well, believe it or not, it could be worth as much as $60,000, yes, that's right, $60,000. For a single penny. This is why collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare versions of this coin, and why you should double-check every 1954 wheat penny you come across. If you find one with a unique minting error or one in perfect condition, you might just have a small fortune on your hands. So, take a moment to check your spare change or go through your coin collection. The 1954 wheat penny could be hiding right in front of you, just waiting to be discovered. Top 5. We're about to dive into the fascinating world of the 1949 wheat penny. This seemingly small, everyday coin has been hiding some serious value for decades. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll be blown away by what this little penny could be worth. Let's take a step back in time to 1949. The United States had just come out of World War II, and the country was on the rise. The 1949 wheat penny was part of the ongoing series featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat stalks on the back. These pennies were part of a very familiar and long-running design that was minted from 1909 to 1958. However, despite its simple design, this coin has some unique qualities that make it incredibly valuable today. So why is the 1949 wheat penny so special? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and some very unique minting errors that make certain versions of this penny highly sought after by collectors. While many of these coins were mass-produced, a very small percentage of them carry rare features that make them stand out. These are the ones that collectors are looking for and are willing to pay a premium for. One of the biggest reasons the 1949 wheat penny is so valuable is the rarity of certain minting errors. During the minting process, errors can occur that make a coin unique. In the case of the 1949 penny, one of the most notable errors is the presence of a double die strike. This happens when the coin die used to stamp the design on the penny shifts or is misaligned during production, causing parts of the design, like the date or even Lincoln's portrait, to appear doubled. These double die errors are incredibly rare and can significantly increase the coin's value. If you happen to find a 1949 wheat penny with a double die, you found something truly special. Another factor that adds to the value of the 1949 wheat penny is the condition of the coin. While the mint produced millions of these pennies, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most of the 1949 pennies were used in everyday transactions and, over time, became worn and damaged. The coins that have managed to stay in excellent condition are considered much rarer and more valuable. Coins with little to no wear and tear, free from scratches, corrosion, or discoloration, are highly prized by collectors because they are so hard to come by. But here's the real kicker: the 1949 wheat penny that carries a rare minting error, combined with excellent condition, can fetch a mind-blowing price on the market. While many pennies from this year might only be worth a few cents, the rare ones, especially those with the double die error, are worth far more. And when you add the fact that it's a wheat penny, known for being one of the most famous and collectible coins in U.S. history, the value starts to climb even higher. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for, just how much can a 1949 wheat penny be worth? If you happen to come across a 1949 penny that is in uncirculated condition and has one of those rare, highly sought-after minting errors, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $69,000, yes, that's right, $69,000. Imagine finding a coin like this in your collection or even in your spare change. That's the kind of rare treasure we're talking about here. So, if you have any 1949 wheat pennies lying around, or you happen to come across one in the future, be sure to examine it closely. Look for signs of minting errors, especially the doubled die, and check its condition. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. Top 6, we've got an exciting discovery for you. We're diving into the world of one of the most valuable and rare coins in U.S. history, the 1945 wheat penny. You might think it's just another penny from the past, but trust me, this little coin could be worth far more than you think. Stick with me until the end, and I'll reveal exactly how much this penny could fetch if you're lucky enough to have one in your collection. Let's set the stage with some history. The 1945 wheat penny is part of the famous wheat series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These pennies were minted during the final years of World War II, a time of great change for the United States. While most of these pennies were used as everyday currency, some of them have features that make them stand out as true treasures among coin collectors. So, what makes the 1945 wheat penny so special? Well, the first thing to know is that, like many coins of this era, it was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was dealing with shortages of materials due to the war effort. This meant that some 1945 wheat pennies were made with slight variations or errors that would go unnoticed by most people at the time. These errors make the coin incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors today. Now, let's talk about one of the most exciting aspects of this coin, the minting errors. The 1945 wheat penny is known to have a couple of rare errors that can dramatically increase its value. One of the most notable errors is the double die strike. This happens when the die used to strike the design on the penny shifts slightly during production, causing parts of the coin to appear doubled. This can happen with the date or even the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, making these coins incredibly unique. These double die errors are incredibly rare and are considered a big find among collectors. Imagine discovering a coin with the date, 1945, or Lincoln's face doubled in the striking process. It's like finding a treasure hidden in plain sight. The fact that these coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered, is what makes them so exciting to coin collectors and enthusiasts alike. But that's not all. The 1945 wheat penny is also highly prized because of its condition. Like most coins, the value of the 1945 wheat penny depends heavily on its condition. The vast majority of these pennies were circulated for years, which means they're often worn and damaged. But if you happen to come across one that has been well preserved, whether through careful storage or just plain luck, then you're holding on to something truly valuable. A coin in uncirculated condition, or one that has only minimal wear, is far rarer than you might think. A coin that's been kept in pristine condition can fetch a much higher price at auction. And when combined with a rare minting error, like the double die strike, the value skyrockets. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the value of the 1945 wheat penny. While most pennies from this year might only be worth a few cents, a rare 1945 wheat penny with a double die error and in excellent condition can be worth an astonishing $71,000. Yes, you heard that right, $71,000. That's the kind of value that collectors are willing to pay for a rare piece of American history. So, if you've got any 1945 wheat pennies in your collection, now is the time to take a closer look. You might just have a hidden gem that could be worth a fortune. Top 7, we have an exciting topic to dive into, one of the most coveted coins in American numismatics, the 1957 wheat penny. At first glance, this might seem like just another penny from the past, but hold on tight, because this little coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick around until the end, and I'll reveal exactly how much this penny could fetch today. The 1957 wheat penny was minted during a fascinating time in U.S. history. After World War II, the United States saw a surge in prosperity, and the economy was booming. The 1957 wheat penny is part of the final series of pennies to feature the iconic wheat ears on the reverse, a design that had been in circulation since 1909. But what sets the 1957 coin apart from the thousands of other pennies minted during this era? It's all about rarity and the special characteristics that some of these coins possess. While the 1957 wheat penny was widely circulated and produced in large quantities, a select few have been discovered to have rare minting errors, which makes them highly valuable to collectors today. These minting errors are what set these coins apart from the rest and contribute to their incredible worth. One of the most exciting and rare errors found in the 1957 wheat penny is the double die strike. A double die occurs when the design on the coin is struck twice, resulting in a doubling of the image. This is most often seen with the date or Lincoln's image on the obverse side of the coin. These double dies are extremely rare and can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Imagine holding a penny with the date, 1957, that looks like it's been printed twice. This is the type of error that collectors are constantly searching for, but that's not the only error to look out for. Another error that can increase the value of the 1957 wheat penny is a filled die error. This happens when debris or grease builds up in the die used to strike the coin, causing parts of the design to be unclear or missing. For example, the letters on the coin might appear blurred or indistinct. Although this error is not as dramatic as a double die, it is still highly sought after by collectors because of its uniqueness. The condition of the 1957 wheat penny also plays a massive role in its value. Most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions, so finding one in excellent or uncirculated condition is rare. A well-preserved coin without wear, scratches, or discoloration is far more valuable than one that's been heavily circulated. And when a 1957 penny is in top-notch condition and happens to have a minting error, its value can reach eye-watering amounts. So, what does all this mean for the value of your 1957 wheat penny? Well, it all depends on the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. Coins with double die errors or filled die errors, especially those in uncirculated or excellent condition, can command a premium price. And now, for the big reveal, a 1957 wheat penny with the right minting error, in exceptional condition, could be worth as much as $59,000, yes, you heard that right, $59,000. That's not a typo. Imagine finding a 1957 wheat penny in your collection or while going through some old change, and discovering it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's not as far-fetched as it may seem, especially if you know what to look for. So, if you have any 1957 wheat pennies, or if you come across one in your coin hunts, make sure to examine it carefully. Look for minting errors like a double die or a filled die, and check its condition closely. You could be holding on to a rare treasure that might just be worth a small fortune. Top 8, and last rare coin for you. We're going to take a close look at a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but trust me, there's a lot more to the 1971 1-cent coin than meets the eye. You might be surprised by its rarity and the potential value hidden in this little piece of American history. So, stick around because we'll dive into exactly what makes the 1971 penny so valuable, and just how much it could be worth if you have the right one in your collection. So let's start with some background. The 1971 1-cent coin was minted during a time of transition in the U.S. mint's design history. This was the year when the classic wheat design on the reverse of the penny was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial. Now, most 1971 pennies are nothing out of the ordinary, right? They're often just a dime a dozen in your pocket change, circulating quietly without much fanfare. But here's the twist. A select few of these coins have characteristics that make them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The rarity of the 1971 penny comes down to a few key factors, and the first thing you need to know is that some of these coins have significant minting errors. You see, while most coins are made perfectly, the 1971 penny had some that were struck with errors, which are exactly what collectors are looking for. And these errors can significantly increase a coin's value. One of the most exciting and rare errors associated with the 1971 penny is the double die error. This happens when the die used to stamp the design onto the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, resulting in a doubling effect. On a 1971 penny, this could mean that the date, 1971, or even the inscription E pluribus unum on the coin appears twice, creating a striking and noticeable flaw. Imagine holding a penny in your hand and seeing the date appear twice. How wild is that? These double die errors are very rare and highly valuable, so if you come across one, you've got a real gem on your hands, but that's not the only error collectors are looking for. Another mistake that can turn a 1971 penny into a collector's dream is the off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is misaligned in the press, causing part of the design to be cut off. This can make the penny look like it's missing part of its design or even leave part of the coin blank. These off-center coins are especially rare and unique, as they weren't meant to be in circulation, making them even more valuable to collectors who prize oddities, and, of course, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Most of the 1971 pennies you'll find are worn down from years of circulation, showing signs of wear and tear. But finding one in uncirculated or near perfect condition is extremely rare, and that's where the real value lies. A penny in pristine condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or significant wear, is much more valuable than one that has been heavily used. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition are far less common, so their worth skyrockets in the eyes of collectors. Now, let's get to the really exciting part. If you happen to find a 1971 penny with a double die error or an off-center strike, and it's in excellent condition, guess what? You could be looking at a coin worth an eye-popping $55,000. Yes, you heard me right, $55,000. That's the kind of value some of these rare 1971 pennies can fetch at auction. So, the next time you're sorting through your spare change or going through some old coin rolls, make sure to take a closer look at any 1971 pennies you find. They might just be worth far more than their face value. So, if you have any 1971 pennies in your collection, or you stumble upon one in your daily coin hunts, don't just brush it off. Look closely for errors, check its condition, and who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into the world of rare and valuable coins. You never know when your next find could be worth thousands. Happy hunting, and good luck with your coin collection.